Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the day that came after yesterday, that's before tomorrow. And I'm on a horse! No, but I love that guy. He's fantastic. I think his name is Steve or Kevin. Kevin. I like Kevin, even though Kevin's a girl. No, sorry, that's Up. I love Up. Up's fantastic. Anyways, so what we're going to be talking about today is me again! We did system requirements. We did my moves. We did kids on the street cars. Now we're gonna talk about system requirements. Kids gather around. Don't create the bubble, empower the bubble. We don't talk to people, engage with strangers. Even if that gauge is just in your brain, like that guy is a douchebag. I don't know him. I'm not gonna respond. Don't even get to the point where it's like where you don't even think like someone is giving you a greeting of some facet and you don't even respond because your bubble is too thick. You're in your zone. I mean, it's okay to be in your zone. Sometimes you need a zone where your music's playing or you're in the wrong headspace. But if you can jump out of that headspace to like respond and be like, "Gee, thanks," or like really engage in what they've just said to you, then you might have a better day. Come out of that negative headspace or something like that and feel more alive. It's a face hugger. Oh my goodness, face hugger Prometheus. I'm gonna go see that again because it's fantastic. Even though the face hugger got real big, that was cool because then the alien came out of the guy and I was like, they need to make a second one, even though I don't know what it would be about. As long as it doesn't have rogues coming at me from behind because you wiped the raid, we'll all be fine. So anyways, going to talk about me in the city. Me in the city for 2 weeks straight, 15 hours a day. I cycled in the city this week. I gave away suit. I talked to a bunch of people, a crazy bunch of people. Cycled in the city yesterday. Went around the seawall twice. Didn't nearly kill anybody. Didn't nearly die. It was way easier cycling there than in Toronto. That was less hills and more awesome. Anyway, so, and because it's smaller, more condensed, and awesome. Vancouver's awesome. Less heat, more easy to ride. So anyways, me in the city. So while I was in the city, I wore a suit like 3 days out of the 15 or whatever, and I dressed in my teal skinny jeans with my high tops. You guys have seen the pink and black and teal high tops, and then I wore a matching shirt and a scarf that was baby blue and pink as well. And it was awesome. It was awesome to be who I wanted to be in the moment with everyone around me and dress how I wanted to dress in the moment with everyone around me, knowing where I came from and out from what I came from and how I am today from who I was. Like, sure enough, in the past, like when I was in Toronto and I was really suffering from my anorexia, it was really like awkward. I did things in that headspace where I was going to talk to no one and do nothing outside of my job on the streets or with the people that I didn't know, strangers or anyone, because I was sick and I didn't care how people saw me, but at the same time I didn't want to give people the opportunity to say anything to me that would either harm me and cause me to go deeper into the negative headspace, or they would say anything beneficial because I wouldn't believe them because I'm anorexic and I have body dysmorphia. So no matter what they say, I'm not going to believe them because no one's ever said anything nice about me anyway. That I believed because they really didn't understand me. And there's no point in believing people that don't understand you because, I mean, there is a point, a bit massive point, but not for me because, I mean, where you are like that in that headspace, it's negative in terms of anorexia and mental illness. You can't believe people because it's just, they don't know you. And that's like one of the key, onsets of that eating disorder, mental illness, is because no one really understands you, no one wants to really understand you, no one gives you time of day, and so everything you are becomes held in how you look, self-worth, and then that's not accepted. So then, I mean, there are other facilitations of how that happens, but that's a key one. Nobody accepts you, and nobody really understands you, and if no one, you can't feel accepted if no one tries to understand you, gives you enough time of day or anything to understand you, because being understood is the key facilitator to being to being accepted. Except if there's a rogue from behind, he'll just accept you all the time. Just be like, oh my goodness, there's your behind. Ambush! Or cheap shot. Or garrote. Which is not another way of saying rape. From behind, a rogue, double legendaries. And then he tries to run away from you, and you're like, ha, I got you on the run! And he jumps off a cliff, and wings come out, and you're like, if that's never happened before, you're like, what the was that, man? You're a rogue, and you've got wings. You're not a friggin' warlock and tiered, whatever that was, 6? Yeah, so, you rogue, you douchebag with wings, you orc bastard, you're PvE here, and a BG, AB, jumping off the friggin' lumber mill. So anyway, I was super happy with who I was in the city. It was super great. Thank you guys all for stopping by and talking with us and me. But I don't think I was done. I think I was done. No, I'm not done. Yeah. Who are you in the moment? Who do you want to be? Like I said before, who you want to be around in the future is hopefully who you are trying to become. And this is most especially true for me and for people with eating disorders, mental illnesses, is if you want to be around somebody that's going to love you and wants to accept you and understand, you have to be an accepting, understanding person, even of yourself. And that's really hard to do, and it takes a long time. And maybe there's some sort of trigger statement that you'll get that'll flip that switch in your brain, like, I need to recover, I need to become what I want to have happen to me. And my trigger was when somebody called me an anorexic skeletal Holocaust victim, and that was somebody that, you know, professed to care about me, and you know, I believe that they cared about me at the time. And when somebody says something like that to you, and you believe them in that manner, it can be pretty like wow. But it wasn't just like a wow wow. It was like a, am I really that way? Wow, that's crazy. I think I should become what I want to be for other people and what I want to have happen to me, right? Like if I want, you know, girls, I mean, if you want to have a hero boyfriend, well, and I won't say like me, because I'm definitely not, I'm an anorexic anti-hero. If you want someone, like a good guy, to be your boyfriend or whatever, and then eventually marry you or whatever, date you forever, who has all the good qualities and makes you laugh, you need to be able to make them laugh too. You need to be able to inspire them to be what you want them to be, so become that. If you want to date a douchebag who, like, treats you crappy just so you can, like, have unique experiences and fun experiences and stuff like that, then be a douchebag yourself. Don't pretend like you're gonna change him. And even if you do, he's still selfish. And you can't change what's in here in somebody else. I understand that now after long periods of trying. But not really trying, but trying to work things out. Anyways, you can only give them the opportunities to respond, and in doing so, hope that they do respond in a positive manner. But that said, you can't change anyone, so you might as well just change yourself, and just give it time. If you're in a committed relationship, give it time, give it everything you've got until there's nothing left. But before you are a depressed husk like I was and you almost die, recognize, have people around you who can edify you, build you up, and recognize that when it's time, you need to step out. And when they tell you this, more than one people, and when you believe them, do it. Don't be like, I'm gonna go back to him because he's, some other girl's gonna scoop him up. But he was a douchebag. He used you. He wanted BJs all the time and sex. And guys don't just always want sex. It's like they want to feel the power of the possibility that they could have sex at any time. They could just call you and be like, yeah, I don't want to, or they could come over or whatever. And it's like, you may not think that's a reality, but it totally is, especially when it comes to douchebag. And I'm not a douchebag because I've never had sex like that, or yeah, I have no idea. I'm just not a douchebag on purpose. I may be a douchebag on accident sometimes, but I'm not perfect, and I may come across that way. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I can't do this alone. I'm not a douchebag on purpose, really. I don't want to be an asshole. You go help me. Help me. I don't want to be an asshole. Oh, Father, please. I don't want to be a douchebag with a sword in my heart about how selfish I am. I don't want to be selfish and be all like, I want a girlfriend just so I can bang her from behind like that rogue does to me in that BG, and then jumps off the cliff and grows wings. Oh, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it now? You date a girl and the girl grows wings when you're having sex from behind. Oh, that'd be creepy, right? You're like, oh, let's do it, and you're doing it, so you're kind of like moving the doing it way. I don't, is that how you do it? Like doing the doing it way? And then all of a sudden she sprouts demon wings, and you're all like, oh my goodness, I've been a douchebag too long, I married a succubus, and now I'm all gonna die. This is, oh, disgusting succubus, and then she grows a tail out her ass, and you're like back there. I mean, hopefully not in that there, but you're back there, because you're doing it from behind. And then she's like, the tail starts suffocating you, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. I'm married a succubus because I'm a selfish prick bastard. No, God save me. And you wake up from that dream, and you're like, I don't know what just happened. I guess I was walking around the city, pretending to be someone I really wasn't, on behalf of myself, so I could have selfish experience with a lady or with anyone. So I feel better about myself without giving nothing to no one other than a few bucks out of my pocket. But that's no big deal, because I pay for my personality by working, by climbing the ladder. I don't do anything for the benefit of others. Why would I want to do that? I don't gotta do nothing other than gratify myself. Gratification. So no, I don't got to do it like that Duke Tom bloke. He's got to do it with his hands. He's got to make out with his hands. Make out with a mirror in order to get better at it. So that when he does find a girl, he can be like, oh, you're a right good kisser, right? You're, oh, you kiss like a fantastic. Whatever. That's how I do it, and then so we go back to douchebag mode, and he's all right. Yeah, that douchebag bloke, he's like the worst kisser, and he facilitates and he's all into all of his relations with his hands, and that's all because he's just a lonely, introverted douche. Rubbish little nerd. Always talking about rogues and warlocks and priests. So yeah. Thanks for stopping by on this Saturday. I'm sorry I jumped between 8 different accents there. I really didn't plan on doing that, so that was like my improv for you. Pretty righteous, right? It's rad, bodacious, ostentatious, ridiculously. That's all I got. Really, I could have gone, but I didn't want to like say what I wanted to say because I was going to say something about knowledge is half the battle, and that's all. That's like a G.I. Joe reference. Because if I would have said that, I would have been like, by the power of Grayskull, and if I did that, I'd have been like, which is the Transformers sound when they do the changing thing from a cartoon. So in the end, just equality, universal. Guys, have a great week. I hope you had a great laugh. Bye. Of course, have a great night. Oh, on a final note, people say I look like that Katy Perry's husband guy, or from her husband guy, and I should make money off doing impressions of him. But I don't really want to, because I've never met him, and I don't really have his permission, and I think that'd be kind of rude. Plus, I don't really. He's way more handsome than I am. He's probably had way more sex than I have. I think I've done it all like 50 times. And I was married for like 5 years. That's pretty terrible, right? Don't answer that. Fuck off.